Good afternoon. This is Carlos Cesar, and I'm here with Faust, my special co-host for the next couple of months. And this is the Neighborhood News Show. It's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at night, and you're watching one more show of the Neighborhood News. We are a little bit over 3 years on the air now, so we do have a few viewers out there. You can follow us on YouTube and Facebook. We do have a page on Facebook. The majority of people following us on Facebook because, you know, in less than 24 hours, the show will be posted. For the Portuguese community, like always, for the past 3 years, I've been welcoming you. Sejam bem-vindos a mais programa da sua Notícias da Sua Vizinhança. É terça-feira, o canal 95, e nós estamos de volta para mais programa de Notícias da Sua Vizinhança. Como sabem, o John está fora por trabalho e nós temos o Fausto aqui a fazer-me companhia, a substituir. Nós hoje vamos ter um convidado, portanto fique connosco e não se esqueça, se está a ver esse programa e não é terça-feira, é porque está a ver um programa repetido, venha ver-nos com um novo programa na próxima terça-feira. If you are watching our show and it's not a Tuesday night, it's because you're watching a repeat show. So you can come back next Tuesday at 7 o'clock at night here on Channel 95 for a new show, and we will be here. Faust, how's your week? How's work?
My work is very busy, which is good for me.
Really?
Yes, because I'm inherently lazy, so if I have to be busy at work, that's good for me.
Do you? It's this time now of the year, kind of low for you, or it gets busier now?
No, because I do mostly advertising sales, just to explain, and the summertime can be a little bit difficult in advertising. I deal with mostly small businesses, and believe it or not, small business owners do get a chance to take a vacation once in a while. Not that often, I find. So this time of year, it's easy to find decision makers, and people are starting to think already, of course, about the holidays if they're in retail.
Exactly, because now for me, it's the best time of the year because now we can sleep good. We don't need to waste energy to sleep, and now it's the perfect weather for me. I love this kind of weather.
Yeah, me too.
And I like cold, so I like the winter. My wife don't, I do. But and now I'm looking for this winter.
You must have a driveway.
I do.
Yeah, okay. It's easier to like winter when you have a driveway.
And I have a driveway for 4 cars. So what happens is I clean one side and I park, and then I can move the cars the next day on another side. And so I don't have to do one day, clean the whole thing in one day. I can divide myself in half.
As long as you can get around, the winter's great.
And I have good neighbors, and a couple of them, they have plowers. So if they go home and I'm not home, when I get home, my driveway is plowed. So
Those are good neighbors.
those are the neighbors you need to keep, right?
Yeah.
And bring them some Portuguese soup during the winter.
You bet. Well worth it.
So we have a guest today, and with us is a familiar face on our community. It's Anolina Souza. And she's working now for People's Incorporated. We did had in here a couple of people representing People's Incorporated because they have all different services, and it's always nice to hear from People's Incorporated and what they're doing on our community. And Anne's been going around the neighborhood groups, which she's very familiar with every single one, what she has on her cell phone, every single cell phone from everybody, so it's no excuse not to get in touch with. And we're going to talk a little bit about the program and the reason that you are visiting us on our groups. I know you're going to be our guests Wednesday. You're going to be our neighborhood guests meeting. But let me first start from, let's see, from the beginning. What is the program that you're working on?
My new position as the Director of Community Partnerships for People Incorporated. People Incorporated has several affiliates, other nonprofit organizations that are under their umbrella. One of the programs is the Smiles Mentoring Program. It's a school-based mentoring program in which we are actively right now in a recruitment drive looking to get people who are willing to come into the schools and mentor 1 hour once a week a child that's selected by the school, a child that they may feel is at risk and needs some social emotional support. And we pair our mentors who are kind enough to volunteer with the mentees. And we have the school-based mentoring program. We have a brand new curriculum this year in the mentoring program, which is dealing with social emotional issues to help mentor the child, to help strengthen their ties not only with the community, but in their school, in their home. And that's why I'm here tonight. You were kind enough to extend the invitation.
Anytime that you want to come, feel free. Just contact us, and you're most than welcome to come here. Is this a new program from the company, or it's been on for a while?
Smiles started in 2002. Local businessman Jim Mathis, who was very involved in the Chamber of Commerce and in the New Bedford businesses, started the program. And it was a group of faith-based individuals as well as business leaders and educational leaders who felt that there was a need for children to have a person in their lives that they act as a role model and would be able to go into the school in a structured curriculum and mentor the child. We currently now have 184 mentors through the schools in Fall River and New Bedford, and we service one school, the Westport Middle School in Westport. We have a great group of individuals, all different occupations, ranging from attorneys, police officers, retired educators, who have agreed to mentor a child. In the city of Fall River, we are in 14 schools, all our elementary schools, our middle schools, and we are currently working on a program at the high school. Ideally, we would love to have 15 mentors for the 15 mentees in each school.
Faust.
I have a
Any
question.
question you have, please.
Yeah, you go into the schools and provide this service. What's the cost to the schools?
Actually, the Fall River Public School System, for the first time last year, appropriated funding for the Smiles Mentoring Program to go into the schools, because we had been in there for a very long time, mentoring children since 2002 with this program. And the Fall River School Department felt that the curriculum we offered, which was literacy-based in traditional mentoring, was such a valuable tool, and they had such a positive response from the students involved that they asked us to expand the program from 8 to 14 schools, which we have accommodated, and they are a great partner with us here.
What is actually the mentor's job? I mean, if a person has an extra hour a week that wants to help, what did he needs to have, or what she needs to have?
It's a structured curriculum
Okay.
within the schools. There is a group facilitator at every mentoring session. So it isn't, if you said, I'd like to mentor a child, let's say at the Fonseca School, you wouldn't go into the Fonseca School and have to come up with something to do for an hour with the child. You would have a group facilitator that would work with yourself and the other mentors and the mentees, the students within the program. They follow a curriculum. In all but one school in Fall River, the school system feels that the traditional mentoring model is the one they want to follow, and that's the social emotional learning component of mentoring. And every week you will have a group activity that you will be doing with your mentee as a group, with the group facilitator, and we track the progress of the mentee to see how they're responding to the program and what success they will ultimately achieve from the program. We cover everything from just a child being able to relate socially to someone outside of their teachers or other students in the school. Some students are referred to the program because they may have chronic absenteeism, or the school may just feel that the child may come from a single parent home where they feel that they need some extra time spent with this child within the school setting, and they recommend the child for the mentoring program.
So if a volunteer, a potential volunteer, doesn't have to have a particular educational background or particular qualifications before going in, because sometimes people think, gee, that's a great idea, but how can I really do that?
If an individual is interested in becoming a Smiles mentor, they can contact People Incorporated, or they can go right on our website, peopleincorporated-fallriver.org. There is a link right on the website to sign up to be a mentor, because it is a school-based program. We are dealing with children. Everyone who's involved in the program does need to be Corey checked, and they need to be at least 18 years of age. But we have some high school students who are actually mentoring as well, who have some time in their schedules. They might be in the school to career programs and such at some of the schools within Fall River and New Bedford, and they're going in and mentoring.
And you know, as well as anyone, that that can be a benefit to that high school student just as much as it is to the child that they're mentoring.
Right. And we have found, I am new to People Incorporated, I've only been there a few months, but statistics show that mentors get just as much out of the program, if not more, than mentees. I was at a neighborhood meeting the other evening with a presentation. One individual who's very involved in the neighborhood organization, he and his wife were mentors before, and he commented on when he went in, he thought he was going to provide so much to the mentee and experience and life experience, and the mentee ended up providing him with a lot. And he was very grateful for the experience.
I remember we had in here somebody from People's Incorporated, and he had invited me to go to one of his classes. He had about, it was in Fonseca School, he had about, I will say, 12 kids, 12, 14 kids on that group, and was amazing was, you know, the questions that the kids had for me. And I went there as a community leader, could make some dreams come true. That's what I was introduced, and I asked them if you what you would like to do as a group for the community. And a lot of ideas, they all start working on the ideas, and then at the end of the class, they told me they would love to clean a beach.
Really?
And I said, here's a perfect example where I can make your dream come true, you know?
You probably breathed a sigh of relief there, right?
Exactly.
You weren't sure, yeah.
Exactly. So I contact Pat Casey, and I said, I know you have a beach on, up there, and that's how things happen. That's how good things happen, and the kids feel good about something that they did for the community, and they had fun. So it is good things going on out there.
And I have a question. You mentioned single parent families, and as we know, most of the time those are single mothers. I've been told this in other similar situations, volunteer situations, for instance, that it can be particularly valuable. So this is something that men can be particularly valuable. Do you find that to be the case?
Yes. A great deal of our mentors are males, and the students do relate very well. They're very interested in their careers, how they started out in their careers, what they do professionally, and it is a positive role model. We also do field trips with the children. The mentors and mentees have gone to the State House. They've gone to the Pawtucket Red Sox. There are some independent matches that we have, about 25 of them. Those are individuals who are in our program more than a year and decide that they would like to take the mentor-mentee relationship to the community. So there are a number of individuals who started out in a structured classroom environment with their mentee and now have gone on and have had relationships with them right through high school. A number of the mentors will attend high school graduations for children they started mentoring in early years in school.
And you're going to bring a message to them. As you see, we have a huge studio here.
Yes.
We use part of the studio. Here on our side, we have a studio that we can very well fit 30, 40 people because we have the accommodation for that. And I have asked them to bring the class here because I was very impressed with those kids. And I told them, put, on part of your class, if they want to come on the show,
Very nice.
I will be more than glad to bring them here. And I know for the kids is a big deal. Being on TV, it's a big deal. So
Most
you
definitely.
bring the message back there again, and feel free to to use our show and to use this facility for
I will pass that
People's
along to the
Incorporated.
director.
For
Thank you.
I think it's something that the kids will get on the roll
Well,
and behave.
I know that when I was on the radio, kids got a big kick out of that, but TV trumps radio.
You really?
Oh yeah, TV's over radio. You're kidding me?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that would be a thrill for many of them.
It's a great invitation. Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
take that back with me.
Sure. Are you been having any? Before I forget, how many classes a week, and how long last the classes? Like if a person wants to, if a person says I only have 3 months, is that class it's going to only be doing 3 months, or you change mentors and you keep?
No, the mentors, when they sign up, ideally they would be there for the school year.
Okay.
So we start late September, right around this time. We've started some of the programs in the schools. They go right through the end of the year. And every school has a time and a day set aside. So some schools are Monday from 9 to 10. Some schools are Tuesday 7:30 to 8:30. Some schools are Friday 2 to 3. So there are 5 days a week, opportunities to mentor, and they're all different times throughout the day.
And is those classes done through school time, or has to be off school time?
They have built it into the curriculum in the schools, so the child is not missing in the middle school any academics, or the high school. That time is specifically put aside for mentoring.
Okay.
So you still have room for some volunteers.
We certainly do.
We'll make that point clear.
We certainly do in Fall River and New Bedford. And again, the program now is in 14 schools. It's been invaluable for those who have participated in it. And again, the mentor gets just as much out of it as the mentee. I, many years ago, was a Smiles mentor, and I got a lot out of it with the young girl that I mentored. Unfortunately, she moved out of the area, but I'm going back this year as a mentor at Henry Lord, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And is those classes could be out of the school, or has to be in school class?
For the first year, it has to be a structured environment with the mentee and the mentor. After 1 year, when you're mentoring a child, if you feel that you would like to become an independent mentor and take them out into the community, you can apply to do that as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are the grade levels that you offer this?
It goes
it's
from-
middle school in Westport, but in Fall River, New Bedford.
Excuse me, Fall River, we're in all the elementary schools, starts at first grade, goes up to 8th at the middle schools, and then we're going to the high school.
Oh, so all the way through.
Yes.
So I'm not sure I understand. Can a mentor within that structured environment follow a child
You can.
all the way through?
You certainly can.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's great. And is that common?
It is, now that we offer the programs in all grade levels, yes. At the beginning, it was only in the elementary school. So when the child graduated from the 5th grade, there was nothing in the middle or nothing at the high school. So it had to go to an independent mentor-mentee relationship. But now that we have it offered, it can continue right through their graduation.
And where's the schools that what's the
Excuse
schools that the classes will be?
We are at the Fonseca School, the Laterno School, Spencer Borden, Tansy, Morton, Talbot, Cuss, Sylvia,
Pretty much
Watson.
all the
The
big
Watson
schools.
School is a literacy-based mentoring program. That school is a Title I school, so we go in there and we work with the children just literacy-based. The curriculum is completely involving literacy and their reading, where the other schools have chosen the traditional mentoring, which is the social, emotional learning that the children are getting. Yes.
Are you able to collect any sort of data with the kids that go through this program, whether it's grades or attendance or any kind of data at all?
Yes, we do that with the schools, and they track the mentees' progress within the program, and for most, it's been very successful. And Mass Mentoring, we are a partner with Mass Mentoring, and Mass Mentoring keeps track of the relationships with mentors and mentees, and they say that 72% of the children who participate in structured mentor programs go on to post-secondary education and graduate from high school.
And for a lot of kids, this is the day they don't want to miss the school.
Yeah.
You know, because they will have fun.
Sure.
And, they will
And that's so important, particularly in the grade schools, I'd imagine, because in the middle school and the high school, kids are able to do more, and I've always said arts, athletics, things like that are some of those things that keep kids going to school.
Right.
They have to have good attendance. It's something that they, if they don't like English class, they like the football team. And so it keeps them in school. So in elementary school, there's some limited opportunities for that sort of thing. They don't have teams, at least not in the Fall River and the Bedford school systems. So this can be something that kids, at least, what is it, is it once a week usually?
Once a week.
At least that one day.
Yeah.
It could, so
Same day, same time every week, and the children really look forward to it.
you can you chart attendance? I mean, not every child starts when they're in kindergarten, right?
They chart the attendance in the program. Yes, no, not every child. It's not in the kindergartens. Some of the schools,
or
it's
first grade.
grade, second grade, third grade. The schools determine what the need is in the school, and they identify the students, and then they refer them to the SMILES program.
But you can sometimes tell the difference maybe with the same,
Yes.
some of the same cohort, some comparison, kids that don't have a chance to go through this. Is it fair to say that you could be, as a mentor, you could possibly be partly responsible for getting that kid a diploma?
Yes, definitely.
I can see how, when you say the mentor may get more out of it than the mentee, I can that mentee may not realize it till later in life, but the mentor will realize it.
Yes. Yes, and that's what a number of people say. We have one individual who actually is a retired person, and he actually mentors 4 students, 4 different students at 4 different schools, because he found the program so valuable, and he had such positive results as a mentor that he took on a number of more mentees. So, we find, especially with retired educators, a lot of it, of course, we do our recruitment, we do our advertising and try to get the word out as best we can, but one-on-one contact, and especially with the retired educators, so many of them are so excited to get back into the classroom and back into the schools and help the students. So, as I say, we've had a great response in the community, both in Fall River and New Bedford, with people who are signing up to be mentors. We're just hoping that those who have the time to give, employers too have been wonderful. They allow a number of employers allow their employees to do it on work time. So people are actually going during their work day to be a mentor. People Incorporated is one of those agencies who allow their employees to mentor during the work day. So we have a great number of employees at People Incorporated who are out there in the schools mentoring the children.
And I have to say that the kids at that age, they have so many questions. If they really like you, they have so many questions. And I was talking for probably an hour and a half there, because they asked me everything from what school I attended, and so they went on and on and on, and if they need to what they need to do to become a neighborhood leader and all of that. So it was so we communicate so much, that they really liked to have me there, and I like that. That's why I invite them here. But same thing happens when I take them to the trustees of reservation. I got recognized by the trustees that I brought over 1,000 kids to the trustees, and most of the kids, 80% of the kids, it's the first time there. But
Went out to the woods with them?
exactly.
Yeah.
So we put the trolley. We ask the city for the trolley. We put them on the trolley. We give them a trolley ride there, and then there they learn about the insects, the trees, the water treatment. They make so many questions. They catch bugs, and they have so much fun. But it's part of education. They learn a lot with that. The other thing that I do every year, I give for Portuguese Day, I give a tour to the Portuguese monuments on the city. I take the kids again on the trolley, and we go around and we talk about the Portuguese monuments and historic buildings on the neighborhood, which they walk sometimes every day to school by them, and they never realize what they're walking for.
I think there are a lot of grown-ups that would like that tour.
I know, but it's fun. I have to say. I mean, if a person has really the time, it's the best way to spend, your free time. It's getting involved with the kids, and they will help you too.
Well, what I'm hearing, though, is that part of this is just these kids learn the story of that mentor. So they're asking you a lot of questions about your life, and all kids need role models.
Yes.
We're not just talking about underprivileged kids or kids with trouble in school. All kids need role models, and so they're just hearing that story. So how do you become a neighborhood leader?
Yes.
So they see that as what it is, something as a success.
Yes.
So they're asking you, well, all right, what's a pathway to success?
Yes.
So even there's that structured curriculum, but it sounds like part of that value is they're just being exposed to somebody who is one way or another, may not be monetarily, but one way or another. We know Carlos is okay, but has been a success, been successful in life, and it seems like they just soak that up.
They do. They do. And it gives them, there's also group activities in which they get to hear what the other mentors do as well. So it isn't just with their own mentor, and then they have, 10 minutes of time at the end of the session where they have what kind of free time. They're still within the community room or wherever within the school that the mentoring session is held, but they have the opportunity to ask questions of other mentors.
And so the mentors can compare notes too.
Yes, they do. And the orientation for the program is done right when the mentoring session begins. So it isn't a lot of time out of your schedule to have to take other than for that 1 hour once a week, in which you really can change the life of a child.
And believe it or not, we are at the end of the show, half an hour.
I went by very fast.
Half an hour.
By very
Always, people always say, I don't know, what I'm going to say. It's a long time. It's not a long time when we start getting in a conversation. That's why I don't interview people. We just get into a conversation and we pass on the information out.
Very
But and anytime,
Thank you very much
just
for the
give us a call, and you're welcome to come back. And I see you next week for another neighborhood news. Thank you.